The alarm klaxon screamed through the galactic research station Epsilon 7, their piercing wails sending every alien species into immediate evacuation protocols. Melissa watched from the observation deck as the containment team scattered in every direction, their translator implants broadcasting panic in 17 different languages simultaneously. Apex predator breach. Juvenile specimen loose in Sector 4. She sprinted toward the commotion, her boots clanging against the metal grating. After 6 months aboard this station, she'd learned that alien scientists had a particular talent for overreacting to Earth fauna. Last month, they'd cordoned off an entire wing because someone's pet hamster had escaped. William was already there when she arrived, standing perfectly still in the center of the corridor, while a dozen Vrelian researchers cowered behind reinforced barriers. The insectoid aliens' antennae twitched with terror, their mandibles clicking in distress patterns. "What is it this time?" Melissa asked, slightly out of breath. William pointed down the hallway. "They brought in specimens from Kepler 442b. Something got loose." That's when Melissa saw it. The creature was roughly the size of a large dog, covered in midnight black scales that seemed to absorb light. Its 6 legs moved with liquid grace, each paw equipped with retractable claws that left deep gouges in the station's supposedly indestructible flooring. 2 rows of crystalline eyes glowed with bioluminescence, and its maw featured serrated teeth designed for tearing through reinforced armor plating. The creature growled, a sound that resonated in frequencies that made the station's walls vibrate. It was objectively terrifying. "By the void," breathed Zixthor, the station's Vrelian chief of xenobiology, from behind his barrier. His translator rendered his chittering as barely controlled hysteria. "A Shadowfang juvenile. We should have never the containment protocols. It will kill us all." "A juvenile?" Melissa raised an eyebrow. "How big do they get?" "Adult specimens have been recorded at 4 meters at the shoulder," Zixthor said, his eye stalks trembling. "They are the apex predator of their world. Nothing hunts them. They fear nothing. The Shadowfang cub turned its multiple eyes toward the cowering scientists and snarled. Several aliens fainted on the spot. William stepped forward and Melissa grabbed his arm. "What are you doing?" "Look at it, Mel," he said quietly. Really look at it, she did. Past the terrifying exterior, past the claws and teeth and predatory grace, she saw what William had noticed. The cub's ears were pinned back, its body language defensive rather than aggressive. Its tail, a thick, muscular appendage ending in bone spikes, was tucked between its hind legs. "It's scared," Melissa realized. "Terrified," William confirmed. He shrugged off her grip and took another step forward. "Human William, no," Zixthor shrieked. "It will eviscerate you. We need heavy weapons, tranquilizers, containment fields." William ignored him. He crouched down, making himself smaller, less threatening. The Shadowfang cub hissed, backing away from the humans and aliens alike, cornering itself against a junction of corridors. Then William did something that made every alien present question humanity's sanity even more than usual. He whistled. It wasn't a random whistle, but a specific pattern, low, rhythmic, soothing. The kind of sound humans had been making to calm frightened animals since before they'd discovered fire. A universal language that transcended species, planets, and evolutionary pathways. The Shadowfang's ears perked up, confusion replacing fear in its glowing eyes. William whistled again, the same pattern adding a slight variation. He extended one hand slowly, palm down, non-threatening. He didn't make eye contact, didn't show teeth, didn't do any of the dozen things that might trigger a predator's instincts. Melissa held her breath. Behind the barriers, the aliens had gone completely silent, watching this display of human madness with morbid fascination. The cub took one hesitant step forward, then another. Its nose, a complex organ that seemed to analyze chemical compositions of the air, twitched as it scented William. Whatever it smelled, it seemed to find acceptable. William continued his soft whistling, a melody that spoke of safety and pack and home. The Shadowfang cub, the apex predator juvenile that had sent an entire research station into lockdown, the creature that evolved to fear nothing in its native ecosystem, did something that would be studied by xenobiologists for decades to come. It padded forward, lowered its massive head and pressed against William's chest. Then it circled once, twice, and curled up beside him, its tail wrapping around his legs, its head resting on his lap. A low rumble emanated from its chest, not a growl, but something closer to a purr. though pitched in frequencies that made nearby equipment malfunction. William scratched behind the creature's ears, finding the spots that made its hind leg twitch involuntarily. "Somebody want to tell me why nobody fed this poor thing?" he called out. "It's starving and scared, not aggressive." Zixthor emerged from behind his barrier, his antennae drooping in utter bewilderment. That's impossible. Shadowfangs are solitary hunters. They don't form pack bonds. They don't respond to auditory comfort signals. They certainly don't exhibit submission behaviors to species outside their evolutionary tree. Melissa walked over and carefully sat beside William. The Shadowfang opened one eye cluster to observe her, seemed to judge her acceptable due to her proximity to William, and closed its eyes again. "You don't have dogs on your worlds, do you?" she asked Zixthor. "Dogs? Those are the small predators humans domesticated on Earth, correct? We studied the historical records. Your species took an apex predator and turned it into companions." His translator struggled with the concept. "We thought it was a mistranslation. What sane species would do such a thing?" William grinned. "That's the thing you folks never quite understand about humans. We don't see apex predator as a reason to fear something. We see a potential friend, a pack member, family. But you can't domesticate a Shadowfang," Zixthor protested. "They're dangerous! Aggressive. So were wolves," Melissa interrupted. 40,000 years ago, we met creatures that could tear us apart. And some human, probably someone just like William here, looked at one and thought, "I bet I could be friends with that." The Shadowfang cub yawned, displaying rows of terrifying teeth, then settled deeper into William's lap. "We're Earth's apex predators," William said, continuing to pet the creature. "But we're also the species that decided we'd rather have friends than prey. That's what makes us human. Not our technology, not our intelligence, the fact that we'll whistle at a predator and see if it wants to be buddies." Zixthor stared at the scene before him. Two humans sitting calmly on a station floor, with one of the galaxy's most feared predators sleeping peacefully between them, like an oversized, murderous house cat. "Humans," he chittered finally, "are absolutely insane," Melissa smiled. "Yesha, and that's exactly why we survived long enough to make it to the stars." The alarm klaxons finally went silent. The crisis was over, resolved not with weapons or technology, but with something uniquely human, the irrational belief that almost anything could be a friend if you just knew how to ask. The Shadowfang cub snored, dreaming peaceful dreams, safe in the presence of Earth's most unlikely apex predators. The ones who conquered their world, not through fear, but through an unlimited capacity for making friends.